Well, shalom, shalom. Let us know if you can hear us good. Amen. First and foremost, we'll say call hello, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakah, Kodash. And double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to Yakim out there pushing the word of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, and sincerity and truth. Amen. As you can see, man, this is another Gmsdal / London Algo update. And I got the brother Raquel Yakum. He is gracing us with his presence today, man, all the way from across the pond. We wanted to talk about the illusion of choice, the kind of like the left-right paradigm scheme that Esau uses to make people believe that they actually had an opinion or a choice with the moves that's being made out here, and how they use deceit and guile to get everybody to basically follow the game plan, leading everybody into the MOTV, which is going to lead everybody into perdition, basically. Okay. So we wanted to go over a few concepts, show y'all how they do this stuff in the media, and just, Satan is about deceit. That's what he does. That's where devil is about, deceiving, going about and with cunning, trickery. So, but just like the scripture says, we know the Satan's tactics, we know his devices, and so we're looking into those things, man. But when you look at this scripture right here, do you have any opening statements out?
No, you can go right into it.
I was going to go into Revelation chapter 13, verse 11. It says, "And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon." Now, this beast coming up is America coming back again in that same spirit of Rome. All right, with all types of power and wonders. But when it talks about these two horns like a lamb, they're speaking towards how you have these political systems, and it's similar to how Rome would play the games too, with the plebeians and republicans. But now you have Republicans and Democrats, and people think that if they elect a Democrat, one thing is going to happen versus a Republican, another thing is going to happen. But that's not the case. It doesn't matter which side you choose. They're all going to be going towards the same thing, man. And we're seeing it now even with Trump. He's supposed to be aligned with the freedom fighters and the people who want to be sovereign. But when you look into his public policy, when you look into his policies, they're all about tracking you and getting you into that digital system. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay? So the scriptures tell us to watch out for people like that, That's why we're not even involved in it, right? All right. Scriptures tell us about electing a king of another nation over us, right? Proverbs 25:19 says, "Confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint." All right. And these people definitely are a bunch of warlocks and witches. They're not faithful people. They're people that have been brought up by the spiritual demon Satan. You about to say something, Mark?
Yeah, like to be in that world, you have to become a witch and a warlock.
Mm-hmm.
And those spells they cast it's heavy on the people. That cult of personality,
mm-hmm.
The rituals, the psyops, is all based upon basically taking the souls of these people, where they're so emotionally invested, so like under the psyop, that they don't thinking logically. And that goes for the Trump supporters. Think they're thinking logically, but they're not.
Right.
And the same goes for the supporters on the other side. Both sets of supporters are so emotionally invested and bugged out that they can easily now be manipulated.
Boom. God. Did you have anything else? So I'm gonna play this clip real quick. Kind of
Yeah,
get things.
we could jump straight into the clips.
All right. All right. So I'm gonna play this clip. This is an old Alex Jones clip.
Bill Hicks.
Let's listen to this.
I wanted to draw a picture for listeners out there, a very simple, crude picture that describes effectively the false left-right paradigm. The Republican Party props up the Democratic Party, and the Democratic Party props up the Republican Party. If you had one of the political parties standing on its own, when the wind came along, it would just fall over. When pressure, revolutionary pressure from the population not liking what's going on, or new groups wanting the power structure, which is the main source of revolution. Most of it is driven by evil, just like the elite is driven by evil. Very rare to have an altruistic revolution. By itself, a single party system will fall over. Okay? But if you take the two-party systems and you lean them up against each other, this is basically the arch. Their force going together keeps them together and makes it become a very strong, stable platform on which they can build their hierarchical New World Order system. Okay? So the current two-party system has been dominated and bought up and controlled by the elite that sits atop it. Now, the elite with a one-party system would not be balanced on top of one party. They would be subject to being toppled, being pushed over easily. But you put the two parties up against each other, they form a royal arch. And now it's very hard to separate those two because they're leaning up against each other. I mean, this is really simple, but I want to explain this to people. Check it out, folks. Why do you see so many leftists who mean well, like Rage Against the Machine, Tom Morello, or Henry Rollins, who are right on so many issues, but then believe in leftist policies? We need a global carbon tax. But there's an elite funding that. No, the elite, the big corporations are against it because the media advertises that big corporations and oil companies are against it. Henry Rollins doesn't know, doesn't have the documents. It doesn't understand that actually that's part of a sophisticated game that, the big corporations say publicly, we don't want this, it's bad, while they actually fund it. They know the public's awake to the fact that they're corrupt, so the public will be fooled and go and support the agenda. It's please don't throw me in the briar patch.
And so when you look at this, and you was talking about this earlier, right, Ricari Kwame, how now you see how Alex Jones is sold out, because he's totally all supporting this same left-right paradigm, to where now you have the alternative media coming in and saying, Donald Trump is against the elite. Donald Trump is against the deep state. We need to make sure to get Donald Trump in there. We're going to lose America.
Yep.
But then when you see Donald Trump's policies, it's nothing but the elite's policies.
And the thing is, what they do is, and it's the same thing they're doing with the Hebrew Israelites. That's why it's a good thing to point out. Mm-hmm. They're doing the same thing. The Hebrew Israelites, you got real men like the apostles and elders that's really about teaching the truth. And so what they do is they set up an individual who may teach similar or very similar at first, so he looks genuine. Wink, wink. You know what I'm saying? They look genuine. They look like the real deal. But then when it's ready, they'll start going left. But by then, they've already built up a trust with the people. They may even be more popular than the real ones. And that's what you will find. A lot of the alternative media, the reason why they're popular in the alternative media is because they're plants. They were put there to become popular, to build up a cult following, to build your trust. They even feed them information. So when the thing that they says happens, oh yeah, look, see, Alex was right. Yeah, that's because he's an insider. They've given him that information to tell you so that you now trust him. So then what he did was he started flipping the people, starting with Ron Paul. You remember that? Oh, Ron Paul, he's the guy. He's the real, of all these Republicans, Ron Paul, he's the rebel. He wants to audit the Fed. You remember that one? And then Ron Paul played that role and they rewarded him by allowing his son to also become a politician. Remember that? And then so after Alex Jones made everybody vote for Ron Paul, then they got Alex to switch over to Trump. It was all pre-planned. It's all pre-planned. So they managed to get all these people who should have been awake, who should have been against the whole political system, who should have been coming after the elites. Now they're trying to vote for Trump and go to Mars with Elon Musk.
Right. So it's all a part of this. It's all a part of their little schemes and plans, you know. Thou shalt not surely die, and that's what Satan does, man. What'd you say, Doc?
Bill Hicks said it.
Right. Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. This is what's happening now. They're going and they're trying to be humble, and we want to save the people from pedophiles and from the deep state.
Yep. And the thing is, the reason why a lot of people can't believe it is because most people are just not this cunning. Like, can we get Genesis, the the 3rd chapter? Serpent was more subtle. Like Esau it's really witchcraft when you really break it down. Psychological, the word psyche goes back to soul. Psychology means the study of the soul. It's really all witchcraft. The rituals, the psyops, how to use subliminal messaging, sacrifices, chants, certain chants, colors, like the blue and the red goes back to the blue and the red lodges. And the average person doesn't think that deep. Like, oh no, like why would somebody have an agent? Remember, Esau has what? CIA agents that are double agents. The idea that you could COINTELPRO, you can take someone and you look at him and you think he represents one thing when he's really working for the other side. This is like a new thing in the earth for most people to actually think. But Esau's been doing this since the Persian Empire, and we can get that. Read that bit up. Let me get the scripture. Right.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 1 says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord power had made.
This left-right paradigm is extremely subtle, because what is caused is the actual kings, the actual royal families of Esau no longer really walk around as openly royal families. You know, the actual royal families, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and families we don't know about, don't put themselves at the forefront of society. Therefore, they can't be held accountable for what's happening. Whereas before, if you had a king, everybody knew the king, everybody knew the nobles. That's why they were able to slaughter all of those nobles during the French Revolution, because you knew who your leaders were. You could go to their house, drag them outside their house, and get rid of them. Whereas in this society, the actual people who hold the power are hidden. They hide behind the political system and the left-right paradigm. So people think the president of America is the most powerful man in the earth. that's moronic. Or they think Elon Musk is the richest man in the earth.
Right.
How? You know, it's all deception.
Time.
So even if you wanted to overthrow the system, who would you start with? You know,
who would you get?
The globalists. Well, all you know is George Soros and some random, but they're not the actual guys though.
Or Schwab.
Yeah, Carl Schwab, but they're not the dudes that's really pulling the strings. And this is how Esau is the ultimate devil, man. He's more subtle than any beast of the field. That's why it's the Most High that's going to actually take them down, because the Most High sees and knows exactly who they are. We don't even know. Because these guys they're not on TV. All right. Now, to go into how Esau has always been slippery, let me just read this real quick. It's in the additions to Esphah. Let me get it real quick.
I got this word subtile. You know, our woman says subtile, shrewd, crafty, sly, sensible, crafty, prudent. So these guys, they're slick, man. All right.
Yeah, they know how to, like, for instance, they know how to set up a false messiah, someone they persecute them to make you think that they're against them.
Right.
Like Trump. But if you actually put on your thinking hat, you'd be thinking, well, hold on. Like, this isn't right. If they hate him so much, then why they got him on TV?
Right.
If he's so much of a threat, shouldn't he be dead? Like, why would they shoot him with a gun? They got heart attack guns. Like, it just doesn't make no sense. Like, Alex Jones, so they can't stop Alex Jones?
Right.
You know, they can't stop Andrew Tate. How many times they arrested him now? It's nonsensical. Of course they could. If they wanted to, you'd never have heard of him.
Right.
He wouldn't be on TV with Pierce Morgan and shit. Like, come on.
Yeah. Let's put on my thinking caps.
Come on, man. Like, you gotta read in between the lines here. You gotta think. Like, nah. These people are set up, and like I said, there's Hebrew Israelite camps that are basically the same. They're plants, and they're gonna be put forward, and they're gonna be bigger and more famous. They're gonna be doing publicity stunts, and you might even see some fake persecution to solidify them. Oh, see, they got arrested. See. They're not working for the system. They got arrested. Meanwhile, they're in jail eating pizza. Anyway, let me read this real quick. Is the additions to Esphah, chapter 7, verse 10. And Ammon, a Macedonian, the son of Amadatha, being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood, and far distant from our goodness, and as a stranger received us. Now, when you go down, that's just confirming Haman. Now, everyone know that Haman, he became the what's it called? The second in command, wasn't he? In the Persian Empire. And
I don't know why this is not pulling up for me.
Amen. You need to put Amen. A-M-A-N. They removed the H. Yeah. Right? So when you jump down to the 14th verse, it says, for by these means, he finding us destitute of friends to have translated the kingdom of the Persians to the Macedonians. So what it's telling you in the scriptures is that Haman was actually a sleeper agent. He was sent by the Macedonians, because when you study the history, I think we did it in an algorithm a long time ago. The Macedonians and the Persians actually had a long history where the Macedonians were actually agents for the Persians in that region. Like, you could go in Wikipedia and, look it up. They have a long history together. So they at one time they were at peace with the Persians, and that's how someone like Haman could get up in the Persian empires, because the way the Persians ruled, they ruled in a way where they tried to incorporate the peoples they conquered. They tried to avoid purely just enslaving people.
That's where you get that term tyrants, and they would set up satrapies, and so they would have basically, who would you want to rule the land? You would want somebody that knows the landscape and that speaks the language of those people. So, you know, Babylon did similar things as well. But yeah, Persia would take over a land, and then they would have, you know, those people kind of rule. Now, when you go back into history, there was a lot of back and forth that was happening between the Macedonians and the Persians. So the Persians, even though they had, you know, treaties, so to speak, the Macedonians was on watch.
Yeah. So the reason why I brought this out was just an example of how Esau's always been subtle. He's always been like that, because Haman was a sleeper agent. He was actually sent there to overthrow the Persian Empire. Yep.
This is why when you go and read the story of Purim, this is why the Persians reacted with so much violence. Because when Mordecai brought out that information, they just started to go through all the provinces and wipe out Edomites, man. They didn't just kill his family; they was killing everybody.
And so they've basically done this throughout the whole world. They've set up a system of secrecy and mischief and deceit, deception throughout the whole world. That's why they have these secret societies, right? Secret societies and secret agents, and it's a big, massive web of deception. And the politicians are part of that. And the left-right paradigm is one of the most powerful tools. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that.
That's great. Beautiful point. I want to backdoor with Psalm 64:2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. You know? So they set up these little things in secret, you know, while they lay up upon their bed, like the scriptures say. It says, who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, their legislation, their propaganda, all of these things, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? What you got out?
Yes, the snares is... The agenda itself is a snare. The MOTB system is a snare. And it says there, they encourage themselves, they commune. People got to remember that this agenda that they're playing out now is an agenda that started in 1776. The men that started this thing are dead, but it continues with their children. It's just continuing. Like, in order to build the infrastructure for the MOTB, you can't, like I said it in a video I did, you cannot manifest the infrastructure for the MOTB overnight. You can make a decree for the MOTB overnight. You cannot manifest the infrastructure overnight.
It has to be built, and he causeth all. That causeth part is a big aspect of it. He's gonna have to come from multiple angles to get that thing accomplished.
And so all these different political parties, they might have 4 years in power. They might have 8 years in power. Then they flip them out for the next one. Then the next political party to come doesn't undo the work that the previous party did in forwarding the agenda. You know, they don't get rid of the executive orders. They don't get rid of the legislation. Did anybody get rid of the NDAA? Remember, they was all crying about the Patriot Act and the NDAA, right? Did Trump get rid of that? Did Trump? Could the Trump supporters say, "Oh, you know, we're sovereigns and the Patriot Act was set up"? Alex Jones, the Patriot Act was set up to take away the freedoms of the American people. Okay, so when Trump came into power, did he overturn and remove the Patriot Act? Oops. No, he didn't. He added to it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So all the things that we're saying for the MOTB, even down to the economic, the managed, the elder always talks about this is a managed decline.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Each political party has
controlled
played their
demolition.
part. It's a controlled demolition. And Biden has played his part. And whoever gets in next, whether it's Trump or Biden, will continue the demolition.
Mm-hmm.
Just like over here in the UK, hey, bro, the Conservatives, bro, they were dealing with the UK like it was, you know, Crawford and Errol Spence, bro. I'm telling you, yeah. listen, only AJ doing good over here, bro. Listen, the UK is down bad, bro. The UK is basically GDP per capita. If it was in America, it would be the poorest state in America. You remove London from the UK would be the same as Romania.
Wow.
Bro, the UK is down all the way bad. Bro, there's food banks everywhere. Like, I'll be on the bus, I look to the left of me, I see a massive line. Yo, what up there? Bear man waiting for bread and carrots and shit, bro. Then I literally go 5 minutes down the road in the bus, I look to the right, bear man waiting for bread and carrots. You just see bare vagrants on the street.
No fish and chips, man? Damn.
Bro, fish and chips is expensive, brother. The cost of living is crazy, bro. You used to be able to get fish and chips for £5. You ain't getting it for £5 no more. Bro, the cost of living in the UK is crazy. The utility prices, everything's gone up. Like, bare people are down bad. And they're blaming the Conservatives. And then the Labour government came in and everyone thought they were going to be the saviors. What do you think they just said the other day? They're removing the winter welfare for the old people. And they said when the budget comes, prepare for pain. Yeah, they're not gonna save no one, because why? They need the people to be destitute and in crisis in order to get them to accept the MOTB.
Exactly.
So they're gonna bring pain. It's the agenda, man.
Yeah.
It's prophecy.
Handing it down piece by piece.
So the same thing's gonna happen in America. They're looking, okay, one of these guys is gonna come in and save America and turn it around. But no, they want the American people to be hungry. They want them to be desperate. So that when they say, they want them to have no security. They want you to be afraid that you're gonna die when you come out your house.
Yeah.
So that they could say, listen, man, we could fix all this with this thing right here.
That's right.
Take that.
Take that. Yeah.
This is what we're doing, man.
Setting them all up, man. I'm gonna play this next clip. You know, we got a girl, Whitney Webb here, super nerd. But
Spider Woman, man.
Spider Woman, yeah.
She looked like she read comic books, man.
Huh?
She looked like she read comic books.
Oh yeah. She be going through. You know, playing video games too. All right. So she's talking about this left-right paradigm, kind of in this interview that she's having with Natalie Brunell. So I'll play the first part, then we'll skip and play that second part. And if you want to say anything, just holler at me, bro.
Come on.
Things feel like they're getting crazier and crazier leading up to November.
Yeah, well, I think as far as this particular election goes, things are going to get crazier as we get closer to November. And, I think that's sort of by design to sort of try and get people, Americans, really engaged with.
Right. And so we saw what was going on in the UK. Similar things are going on here between as far as immigration crisis and everything like that. And things are just ramping up more and more and more.
Yeah, and you notice how the funny thing about that thing in the UK, right? As quickly as it rose, is as quickly as it disappeared, showing you it's all controlled by agents.
Yep, they just do it in waves, and now we have the similar thing happening with the Venezuelans. So they're in Aurora, Colorado, taking over apartment buildings. They basically walked into a nursery or a jewel shop that was family owned, robbed the place, held the people at gunpoint. So they're saying that there's Venezuelan gangs, gang members are taking over cities in the United States, and now United States gang members are going to go down to Colorado and fix the situation, not the police.
Chaos, man.
It's just chaos, right?
Chaos, man. But they're orchestrating it, and then they use that thing in the UK to bring in facial recognition, rapid detainment and imprisonment of what's it called, protesters. Also online, so you could one guy got arrested and got put in prison for retweeting.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I remember reading that.
You know. So yeah, like, and then once they did all that, then they kind of like toned it down, and then there weren't no more riots. But apparently they got something planned. Tommy Robinson, the UK, Alex Jones, he's got something planned for October the 26th. So we're gonna see, how that goes.
Yeah, so as we get closer to these elections, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more stuff, right? All right, so
electoral politics again, because I think most people have been really burnt out and really disillusioned with both parties. And I think you're going to continue to see both parties attempt to energize their bases by very perhaps unconventional means, or doing stuff that maybe they haven't done before.
Like the assassination.
Yes.
The so-called the alleged assassination attempt. That's exactly what that was.
Yeah. To energize that side. Yep. And these games.
Hey, listen, we know that if they wanted to put one in his dome, one thing we know America ain't short of is sharpshooters.
Yeah. He would have been out of there. Brains spilt all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the elites ain't short of shooters, man. What's going on? Yeah. Hey, you gotta talk to them. America's down bad right now, bro. You losing on all counts, man.
Yep. It was close. It was very close. Had I not turned my head to the right, I might not have been here. It was very, very close. The bullet grazed me. I felt it. Everybody was like, yeah. People are idiots, man.
Buying the t-shirt.
Yeah.
Which there's a that's part of there's an aspect of witchcraft too, which goes into photography and even videos. That's why the elites they videotape their rituals, because they believe that when you videotape it, you actually capture the energy of it.
Yeah,
so that's why straight away they started making up t-shirts of that event, because it carries the energy of the ritual.
Right. Yeah, that's heavy. It's heavy.
Regardless of who wins, ultimately a lot of the same people are going to get what they want, because at the end of the day, so much of the stuff that the American people are tired of are really bipartisan agendas, right? And, regardless of who's in office.
So it doesn't matter which side.
When there's a crisis, the same people tend to be called upon to solve the crisis. So, a good example of that would be the 2008 economic crisis. BlackRock was basically sent in to help handle the banker bailouts. And then during COVID, when Trump was in office, BlackRock was brought in to essentially design the COVID fiscal policy, which the ramifications of which we're still dealing with. That's just one example, but there's so much, whether it's funding wars or funding, the state of Israel, for example, with billions of U.S. tax dollars and things like that. There tends to be bipartisan consensus about a lot of things. But I think, there's an effort to sort of frame this as an election that's not that. And, each group in their particular, partisan silos, think their candidate is going to be the answer and magically reverse all of this stuff. But unfortunately, both are essentially, bankrolled by, major forces in Silicon Valley specifically. And a lot of those Silicon Valley oligarchs tend to double as contractors to both the military and also intelligence communities. And so,
stop there.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see, they're all one. It's one organism. That's why we're going to go into the public-private partnership. It isn't the government controlling the corporations or the corporations controlling the government. No, the same people control the whole thing. They control the government. They control the corporations. They control the mafias. You know what I'm saying? They control the universities. So it's like a revolving door. They're all just working together. That's why she said, look, they even when they want to fund something, they could fund it through the government. They could fund it through private means. They could fund it through both because they control everything. You know?
All right. So that, you know, I was doing a lesson on those three, the unclean spirits, you know, and that's how they lead through everything, man. Or what the city states, Vatican City, Washington D.C., and then London as being the financial branch. They're able to control all the industries in the world, man. These elites.
Like, I think the Bilderberger meeting used to have the heads from everything.
Yeah.
Politicians, captains of industry. You
Yep.
know?
Mm-hmm.
Really, they're all just part of secret societies, man. It's all one thing. There's no separation. The separation is just a perception of separation, but it's not really. Google is the government. The government is Google. The Google was made by government seed money, the CIA seed money. If you was it Incutel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's it. Google is the government. Twitter is the government. Like Elon is the government, man.
Yep. They're all tied together. All right. Gotta know this.
The PayPal mafia crowd behind Trump this time, maybe because of JD Vance, but he's got, David Sachs and Elon Musk and people like that in his corner. And even though Peter Thiel's being quite quiet, there seems to be some overlap there as well, which we can get into later. And then, of course, on the Kamala side, you have people like Reid Hoffman and Eric Schmidt, who are also share a lot of overlap with the oligarchs on the other side, like Eric Schmidt and Peter Thiel sit on the steering committee of the Bilderberg Conference, which is kind of notorious for being a
Boom, you just mentioned that, right?
Closed door meeting of prominent, globalists in the corporate world and in the public sector, and Reid Hoffman and David Sachs and Elon Musk are all part of the so-called PayPal mafia. They just happen to fund different parties, and all of these oligarchs at the end of the day, do they frame the reasoning for why they want these policies differently? They agree about more biometric surveillance, they agree about digital ID, and they ultimately agree about programmable surveillable currency, whether it's a CBDC or a private bank digital currency that's also surveillable and programmable. So, if you're against those things as policies, it's important to pay attention to the policies and not so much the campaign rhetoric, because people tend to forget, during a campaign season, that campaigns are essentially sales pitches, and very few people, when they campaign, actually keep their campaign promises once in office. And one example would be, Trump back in 2016, in 2015, campaigning that he was going to reinstate Glass-Steagall, and then when he was actually in office, allowed banks to be deregulated even further. And of course, there's plenty of examples for that for the Democrats as well. Obama being, a really glaring one with, being against the big banks during the 2008 economic crisis, and then having his entire cabinet essentially being chosen by Citigroup, right? Which arguably caused the crisis and had Glass-Steagall repealed to facilitate its merger in the late 90s. So, this is kind of stuff that, people forget, and it kind of makes me unpopular for bringing it up. Some people don't like to hear this stuff during election season because people get really emotionally invested in particular candidates. But getting emotionally invested in candidates is not my job. My job is to remind people of the policy records of the candidates that are running and the ramifications of the policies that they're suggesting on the campaign trail.
Boom. All right. So now she's explaining basically to the audience
all the stuff that you
how if it don't matter which side you look at, it's a bipartisan agenda basically to move everything into the MOTB systems. All right. They want to digitize the and bring programmable money that they can control. They can basically put the rules under. They can have their artificial intelligence monitor. And who better to usher this in than the beloved Elon Musk, right? And so that's why over the last 3-4 years, they basically tried to make Elon Musk be this super cool. They're trying to make him into Tony Stark, basically.
Super edgy.
Yeah. So they're pushing him out there with cunningness to be some type of Tony Stark, super cool guy. That's the deep
his
state.
Mother is a straight up Illuminati. His granddad was part of a openly part of a technocratic cult who were trying to set up a technocracy in the world. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. And people really eat this stuff up, They really believe like Elon Musk is some good guy, I do want to play the second part of this, and then we can move on. Did you have any points or anything you want to bring out real quick?
Nah, the Whitney's on point, man. So you ain't gonna see her on CNN probably. She seems pretty genuine.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, people like her are not gonna get like the Alex Jones treatment, Like she said, she's gonna be unpopular because she's not joining in with the psyop. You know what I mean? So big up Whitney. Big up Whitney. She's doing that too.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna read this real quick. Psalms chapter 5, verse 8. Lead me, O Lord, in thy righteousness because of mine enemies. Make thy way straight before my face, for there is no faithfulness in their mouth. Their inward part is very wickedness. Their throat is an open sepulcher. They flatter with their tongue, right? So the ways of these people is nothing but what? Death. That's what a sepulcher holds. It's just death and rebellion against the Heavenly Father. And this is the direction that Babylon the Great is going. The whole world, really. What was you about to say, Salaki?
Yeah, that scripture is powerful, man, because it's exactly what they are. And they're liars. These people will sacrifice babies and then come out in a press conference, start kissing babies, and I love everybody. People are scum. They're the biggest demons you can ever get. Don't believe nothing about them. Everything about them is a character which has been designed for TV. They're actors. That's another thing. Hollywood is just open actors, but they're all actors. You don't really know these people. They switch on when the cameras come on. Kamala Harris and her stupid cackle. She's got her character. Trump's got his character. Biden. They're all characters, man. But really, they're all Satanists, man. Witches and warlocks.
Thanks.
High level witches too, because you have to be to get to that level, which means you're doing everything the Canaanites did, the odious works of witchcraft.
Time. Let's see. I'm gonna play this part.
You said about data and just, I mean, we basically did freely put it out there, and now
this whole interview is really good. So, if for bros that are into it, you're gonna want to go watch the whole video, but we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna take out little clips.
Does she talk about Bitcoin?
She goes in. She goes in
because Bitcoin was made by the government too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she goes in.
Okay.
Against us, and you talk in your last piece about how data is pretty much the most liquid commodity, and they can weaponize it. And
now, when we want to talk about data, we talk about this fourth industrial revolution, where data is the new, basically, petroleum. And it's the centerpiece of how things get marketed and ran all across the world. And when you look at what they're going to do with the MOTB, it is a weaponization of data, information.
Yep.
to tell you where you can go, where you can't go, you know, what you can eat, what you can't eat, who has access and who does not have access. It's all gonna be controlled. Okay.
And then another point to it too is because remember the scripture says they want to be like the Most High, right? So the Most High has prophets because he knows the Lord could give you a vision, you know exactly what's going to happen. They got something called predictive. They can use the data to predict things. So their thing is like, what's that program called?
Predictive.
Minority Report.
Uh-huh.
So their thing is, if you gather enough data on someone, you can quite accurately predict their reactions or what they're going to do in the future, and therefore you can act beforehand. And that's a lot of what they really want to do with this MOTV system. They want to be able to predict what you're going to do before you do it. And that's why they have you on Facebook or they have you hooked up to these social medias where you're always telling your thoughts. So they have these events happen and they can see straight away how it affected you, what you did, where you went, who you talked to.
Thanks.
So they could predict how you move, which is an advantage. So I don't know if you remember. You remember when the elder Yashawamba, I wish I could get this video. He brought that video out about Jade Helm, where that woman was breaking down what Jade Helm was, and she was saying how the Jade Helm 5 exercise was about utilizing AI in urban warfare and how they would use AI to predict, you know, people's movements and send the drones and send the soldiers into particular places. So that's a big part of what the data is for. It's to predict. Wow. You know, even if you go on Google Maps, right? I don't know, you guys have shopping centers and that in America. Google Maps can tell you when the shopping center is going to be busy and how many people are going to be there.
Yep.
In advance. It's crazy. Like, you should check it out.
Yeah, they got this technology, man. They know. They know.
And then so they could start manipulating you by prompting you, and they can make people go to that shopping center. You know what I mean? That's where they're going to with this AI stuff, you know, and the data.
Beautiful, 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 man. Let me play the rest of this.
And it's so crazy because now all that information's already out there. How do you even remove yourself? And you're right. It's like, no matter who you vote in, you could get really passionate about politics. And I loved what Edward Snowden said at the conference. It's like, you know, vote, but don't join a cult. But like, literally, how do you fix all of this?
Well, you know, something like Palantir is a really good example of how bipartisan that is. Every administration that's in office, whether it's Democrat or Republican, gives them more and more and more and more and more contracts, you know? And a lot of these other companies that are sort of in the universe of Palantir, like Anduril and Clearview AI, the same is true there as well. So, you know, again, these are policies that are going to expand regardless of who's in power. Maybe you could debate about maybe it will advance slower with one party than the other, but ultimately, you know, it's the same agenda. And a lot of that goes back to the fact that they're bankrolled both parties by, you know, differing factions, I guess, of Silicon Valley oligarchs.
Yeah, it all goes back to the Rothschild money. Essentially, different factions of the same oligarchs. The same people who's funding all these governments across the world, who's funding these different banks, the banking systems that we see, you know.
Same people funding Nate. That's what it is.
The same people that's funding Nate. Yep.
Hey, people ain't gonna believe it. They ain't gonna believe it, cause you know. But hey, the Hebrew Israelite thing is big enough that they got their agents, man. They got their agents.
Facts.
We've been telling people every day. It seems that more information is coming out, and it's so obvious to those who have eyes to see. You know, these dudes sold out, man, and they're with the MOTB agenda. You know, they're with it because they're teaching you it's sin and an embargo at the same time. You
But those guys agree about widespread financial surveillance and, programmable money and biometric digital ID, which are sort of the foundation for a lot of this stuff in the Sustainable Development Goals, which is really, was written by bankers and isn't really about sustainable development. It's about something else. And sort of this effort for like really a technocratic global government. All of that rests on having digital ID and a surveillance, a digital wallet tied to it. And a lot of people in the teal verse, I guess, like Sam Altman, his WorldCoin is meant to be that. It's meant to be, both a wallet and a, provider of biometric digital ID. And the United Nations, for example, has been beta testing that exact system for years on the most vulnerable people in the world, on refugees, through things like the Building Blocks program of the World Food Program, where refugees have to scan their eyeball and make a digital ID and have a digital wallet, and they can go in and get their rations, but only if they scan their eyeball. They have to pay with their face, otherwise they don't eat. They've been testing this on the most vulnerable people on the world, but it's a system that's intended for everybody ultimately. So I think if we want to stop this, it's not about, maybe you can vote for the party you think will implement it more slowly, right? But that's not going to defeat the policy. What will defeat the policy is people opting out.
Yeah.
The only thing that's going to defeat the policy is Yahweh Shemel Shah. That's where she goes left, because this thing is set to come because it's prophecy. When we read this in Revelation, the 13th chapter, it's going to happen, man.
Yeah.
Can
I get a preset real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, this Amos 3:7. It says, "Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets." Now, I must say this. You see everything she just said. Have we not been doing algo after algo, highlighting those infrastructures as being part of the MOTB system? It is undeniable that GMS and only GMS have done exhaustive videos on CBDC, on RFID, on digital ID, on flipping 4G, 5G, SpaceX, like the whole infrastructure, biometric, everything. We've constantly done and said, listen, this is the agenda. And it lines up with prophecy, because the MOTB is, the government is the one that, the system is the one that's going to be doing it. And everything she just said, we've been talking about.
Facts.
We got the playlists, man. This is not, we're not fake. We've seen the playbook, because the Spirit of the Lord was with us. The apostles and elders told us the mark of the beast is the RFID chip. Did we just stick with that? Okay, it's the chip. No, we took that and we went and did more research, and we looked into it, and we keep looking into it. And all type of brothers are constantly searching, and we've exposed the whole thing in real time. Meanwhile, these guys, IUIC and ICPK, have only talked about it when it got too much and they had to rebuttal us. It's an embargo, trying to sound deep, like you can do the algo. Trying to sound deep. It's an embargo, arc. Niggas sitting there in the crowd don't even know what the hell an embargo is. They thought it was some type of burrito or something. It's an embargo, arc. What the hell are you talking about, an embargo? Listen, bro, shut up and just watch the algo. We'll break down the geopolitics, man. You don't know nothing about what the hell you're talking about
at all.
They had to start, and both of them did it at the same time. IUIC and ICPK, they both came up with that goofy breakdown talking about embargoes. As a reaction to all the videos we were breaking down. And then the guys in the UK said, everyone's talking about this microchip. We're here to tell you, ain't no microchip. They're always on the back foot. Yeah, moving like Shakur Stevenson, on the back foot, yeah, trying to react. When we were on the front foot, just going in all the time, man. She just said it. Listen to everything she just said. We've got algos, at least 5, 6 algos on everything she talked about. Yep. And what is she saying? She's saying, look, whether you're on the Republican or Democrat, whether you're Google or Amazon or it doesn't matter which part you are in the system, everybody is in line with these particular things. And why is that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. What else can we say, bro? It's just
She just said it out, man.
That's a beautiful video.
She broke it down, didn't she, bro?
She broke it down. Everything she did it. She said biometrics, CBDC, digital ID. She said both private and central bank, because it doesn't matter. She just broke it down. Like, yeah, they're all working together to do this.
Yep.
And he calls it all. All that's left is a crisis and a decree. That's it. The infrastructure is being built.
You know?
And it's global. Come on, man.
Yep. The brother's page is GMS Fear the Most High 7. Brother was asking what your page name was.
Yeah, I think I'm on like God or something like that.
Yeah, you're on God now. They keep taking you down. Yeah, I think it's GMS Fear the Most High 7 God.
I think so, yeah. Forget it, man.
Yeah. Oh man, for our light affliction, which is but for a more long ass name, damn. Habakkuk 2:2. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Mm-hmm. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And we're seeing this thing happen, man. We're seeing this thing go down. Okay? Salvation of the elect, put Ezekiel 33 and 33 in the AMP. So when it comes to pass, as it most certainly will, then will they know without any doubt that a prophet has been among them. And just like the brother is saying, man, we've seen all of these things come together, and we've been tracking it. We've been tracking the smart cities and who's been funding the AI technology, keeping up with the data. We've been tracking, like CBDCs, and breaking it down for the congregation to understand how this can be implemented with the RFID technology. We were going in on the Neuralink and popularization of Elon Musk and showing that, this is nefarious, and putting all the pieces together because it lines up with prophecy. It lines up with prophecy. Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. This process of causation is going on right in front of our faces. 5G technology, machine learning.
Yep.
The advent of Chat GPT and AI, and how they just force fed it into all the social media apps just to grab more and more data.
And you say sad about the brother, one of the brothers in the camp. He's one of them IT nerds. He's in the industry, and he said basically that open AI, pretty much most of the companies that are setting up running AI is running off the back of open AI. So open AI is basically the main one.
Yep. And it's just input. As people interact with it, it's just getting more and more intelligent. It knows how to lie. You see the video where I show how the thing was just lying? And it's, well, I did. It's a white lie. This is the chat saying it, and it's talking like a regular person. I can see why you say that. It's just like,
it's
what?
the Edomite.
Yeah, it's the Edomite AI.
It's an Edomite with unlimited flipping IQ. That's what it is. Yeah. It's dangerous.
All of these things are necessary components for the mark of the beast.
Yeah.
Right? This is the causation part that we're reading about here in the 16th verse, here in Revelation 13:16. Right? Verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Yeah, you're not gonna. And another thing is, you see this idea of stripping someone of their citizenship is going around too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's gonna be a thing. So it's like, if you don't have that mark, you're not a citizen. So you're gonna have to have that mark. That's where they're pushing this thing to. So you're not gonna be able to partake in the goods and services of the system, because the system is gonna control all the goods and services, because they're gonna merge everything into one. And they kind of did that, like with the seating was like a beginning of that. You know? So that's why we're telling you beforehand, man. You have to prepare yourself spiritually, because you're going to be tested on a spiritual level, because what your eyes see is not going to be pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
From the outlook of a man, you are going to be faced with a hopeless and situation.
A dire situation like that. What's that scripture you always bring out in Luke?
Oh, damn, you're talking about where it talks about oh, you know, that's crazy.
You look that word up and it's basically famine. You know?
Yeah. You're the word you're talking about is oh man, it's Satan's taking it straight out of my mind. It's in Luke, distress of nations,
perplexity. Yeah,
perplexity, man. Shortage of things, perplexity, like dire straits, like danger. And it's gonna look like, oh, okay, listen, if I got to win, I need to be on Esau's team.
Mm-hmm. See what it says.
The odds are against me. You know? It's like trying to beat Canelo on points.
Yeah, it ain't happening.
You know, it's peak. So it's like, the scripture says you have to remember that Yahushua is a God which is always present. You're gonna have to believe that he's present with you, because Esau gonna be here and he's gonna be on some madness. All these crazy people are gonna be out there doing craziness.
Yep. Let me read this real quick. Luke 21:25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, and the sea and waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear, and looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven will be shaken. So just like the brother said, people are going to accept this mark, because it's going to be bad out here, man. It's going to seem like you don't have any other option, you know?
Yeah, there's people with medical conditions that are, you see more and more stories, especially in America. Medical conditions, and they can't pay for this, they can't pay for that. Yeah, they want you to be like that. Because they're gonna give you that medical, or they're gonna promise you that medical treatment, but guess what? You're gonna have to take that mark, and then you can get access to this new medical system we're gonna have.
Yep. Now here's a root word of that word perplexity. When you get perplexed,
Strong's G 639, aparreo.
to be without resources, to be in straits, to be left wanting, to be embarrassed, to be in doubt, not to know which way to turn.
Yep.
That's the situation that they're gonna put out here, man.
Yep.
You know, not to know how to decide or what to do, to be perplexed, to be at loss with oneself, to be in doubt. The people are going to be in a state of fear out here, bro. Immense fear. Okay? And it's going to be contrived. Satan's is going to be Satan's devices that he's got out here, but we're going to be protected with the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Okay? Do you have another point?
No, we could keep going.
Right. So I was going to go to this one. Because we was talking about just how they play both sides of the field, and it doesn't matter whether the left hand or right hand, or the Democrat, red, blue, whatever. they play with the minds of the people to get everyone going in the same direction. And they've made this Elon character seem like this, like we said, they're trying to make him into the new Iron Man, the new Tony Stark. Everybody loves Iron Man, right? We'll play this.
Influential, if not powerful, group of people across a wide spectrum.
Oh, hey, bro, before you start, this guy, Joe Rogan, is one of the biggest agents, too.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the biggest agents. That's why Spotify gave him 200 million. When you break it down, his show, when you watch his interviews, it's all scripted and they're pushing agendas. Don't ever think that he's some rebel. He's not.
Facts.
Everything he's pushing all these psychedelic drugs on people, universal credit, all that stuff. He's a demon. Joe Rogan he's juiced in with the system heavy. They're the ones that sponsored his show. Like, so every time he mentions a product, he's getting paid for that. He was sponsored by Tesla too.
Yep. I believe that's
just to put that out there, he's another big agent.
God. They're all agents of Satan.
Those elites are up to.
Phew. Yeah, because I was worried about those. I was worried about those elites influencing people across their mass media network, but we don't have to worry about that anymore because now there's a new group of powerful people that are going to tell you what to think. Instead of the old mainstream media network, there's a new group of them, okay? And they've got nothing to do with those elites whatsoever. And they're just going to be presented to you on the platforms that the elites own, like Spotify, YouTube. They're going to be presented to you on there, and they've got nothing to do with the elite. They're not like the old people that told you what to think. They're the new people that tell you what to think. And you can trust them because they're cool and they're dude and they're bro, you know, and they smoke weed and they're really clever because they're an evolutionary biologist, some of them, even though the advice they were giving you when it mattered was absolutely terrible, you know, and even though they've got huge reach across all the platforms where, you know, you get banned and censored if you're actually working against the establishment. Oh, this is going to be great. Oh, we're so few. I'm so pleased that the old group of powerful, influential people that told us what to think are being replaced by a new group of powerful, influential people that can tell us what to think. Wow, I don't see any potential pitfalls here whatsoever. Phew. Please tell us what to think. Tell us who to trust. I wonder who it'll be.
Right? We even, I think, have elites of our own.
I think this is just a theory. It's just a theory. I've got this inkling. This isn't some sort of agreed talking point that we're going to push on people, Joe. Just let me tell you that I think I might have something here, Joe. Let me just float it out there, Joe, and see whether you agree with me or not. I've got no idea which direction this conversation's going to go in, Joe. I've not got a sort of battle plan. I've not got an agenda. I've not got something to push that we're going to bounce back and forward together and convince people of. You know what? I got this. I think, Joe. Bear with me, Joe. Bear with me, Joe. This is not rehearsed or planned that I'm going to say this, but I've got this idea. It's a germ of an idea, Joe. Stay with me, Joe. I think I love the way Brett Weinstein commits. Wait a minute. It's coming in live now.
He's got it, man. I'm loving this. Because this is what they do, man. And if you notice Elon, they're using him to consolidate everything, right? So he won and just took over X, but he's a rebel of the elite. Do you think he would really get that?
Yeah,
absolutely not. And now there's the rumors of him with YouTube.
Yeah.
And Elon, we trust, right? He's gonna open it up to where we can all have free speech. Yes.
But Twitter ain't really even got free speech.
No, I got banned the other day.
It's only on
literally.
It's only free speech if you're of a particular, you know, if you're an agent, yeah, you'll be all right. Like Andrew Tate or someone like that.
Alex Jones back. There's a Twitter space with Alex Jones and Andrew Tate. This is freedom. People are dumb, man. Meanwhile, he's setting you up with Neuralink. Meanwhile, he's the one that's gonna put payment systems on X.
Yeah, the super app.
Yeah, it's gonna consolidate it all. You know.
But he wants to fight with the other puppet, Zuckerberg, in it. So he's you know, they want to have a boxing match. You know?
Yeah. And out of nowhere, he supports Trump. Okay.
Oh, wait a second. I've got a haircut. Yeah, I think that we can trust the number one person that the establishment want us to trust, that's being positioned as the person that we can trust, that runs the big social media network, Joe. I think, Joe. I wonder what you'll think, Joe. I wonder if you'll agree with me on this, Joe. The guy that's trying to put chips in people's brains, I think he's the best guy in the world. What do you think, Joe? What do you think with your big multi-$100 million sponsorships and stuff? You've had him on the show 6 times. I wonder, Joe, what you... I think, Joe. I don't know that we're on the same page on this, Joe. I'm spitballing. I'm freestyling here, Joe. Come on, back and forth with me, Joe. Let's just see if somehow we're on the same page here. Because I just think, Joe, I think.
I can't be certain, but Musk
It's so fake.
doesn't look like
He called that out so good. It's so fake, man. Look at this. It's so fucking fake.
he's on their team to me.
Brilliant, man. So smooth, Brett. You got all these dummies fooled, man. Wow, so slick. Listen, Joe, I think... Joe, have you got a magnifying glass I can borrow? I'll just hold it up to the screen. I think, Joe. I think, Joe. Just a theory, Joe. I don't know if you're going to agree with me, Joe. Even though you've had the guy on the show 15 times, I know you love the guy, you're friends with the guy, but let me just float this past you, Joe, because I think, Joe, Musk, yes, Brett, it doesn't look like one of them to me. Oh, I wonder which way Joe Rogan will go with this. I wonder. It's a long shot, but I wonder if there'll be any agreement from the other side of the discussion.
He's not on their team.
That's what I think.
Bro, he's not on their team. I smoke weed. He's not on their team. I'm convinced. That's enough for me. He's not on their team. I smoke weed, bro. He's not on their team. Okay, I'm convinced. I get $200 million a year from Spotify. I mean, so I can spot somebody who's working for the establishment, and it's not him. He's been a secret sponsor of the podcast for a number of years. Shout out Matthew North.
So let's move on to Elon Musk. Now, I believe, although Elon is not listed as a sponsor, he is a sponsor. And here's why I think that.
From Colorado. But I did just get a Tesla. So I'm supporting the podcast.
Okay, did you hear that? Okay, he said, I did just
from Colorado. But I did just get a Tesla. So I'm supporting the podcast.
I did just get a Tesla, so I'm supporting the podcast. How does that follow? Buying a Tesla supports Joe Rogan's podcast. Is Elon Musk subsidizing Rogan's podcast for an agenda, for propaganda purposes? Absolutely.
But he's on that team, bro.
Yeah, so the biggest platform in the world, which is the Joe Rogan's podcast, by far. And all of these people literally worship Joe Rogan. They worship him. Okay? So anything that anybody comes on there and says anything, it's contrived, it's controlled, it's putting people, it's aliens. Oh, God doesn't exist. Our technology is God. We need to get the ancient Anunnaki. We're gonna get back to that with Elon Musk's space technology. Come on, everybody, let's take some ayahuasca.
Yeah, they're heavily pushing all them psychedelic drugs. And if I could say this, if you listen to the speech from Aldous Huxley, no, was it Aldous Huxley? Yeah, the Aldous Huxley Berkeley speech, which he was an insider. He was one of them. He basically said one of the things they're going to do in the New World Order is use technology and chemicals to control people. So it's nothing new, the use of psychedelic drugs to control people, because you can use these drugs in rituals, right? That's why they always want people high, or they want you to go to concerts and take Molly and take all these different drugs, because it puts you in a state where you're more susceptible to demonic possession.
Yep.
That's
they
why
did the same thing in ancient Rome. What would they do? They would take opium baths, the milk of the poppy. What do you think that is? The milk of the poppy that you hear in these old shows, and shows that kind of show old lore. It's opium. People would go into the temples, the temple harlots would sit your ass in some goddamn opium baths. You get high and hallucinate, and then they tell you that the gods came to them, and this is what they telling me about you for you. Yeah. Nothing new under the sun.
So they want people to be taking that Joe pushes that DMT, mushrooms, psychedelic, all these different psychedelic drugs, man, because that's part of the New World Order too. You know, if you watch Brave New World, they had that drug Soma that they were giving everyone to make them happy. So the drugging the people has always been part of the system, because that's always been a part of witchcraft. Potions, pharmakia. They're just trying to make it trendy and edgy and rebel. Oh, see, the system's banning these drugs. Yeah, but now they're gonna legalize them.
Yep.
So that they can give it to you. You know. Yeah, man. That's why this man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Like Deontay Wilder, man, on that ayahuasca, man.
Yeah, that's why he got his ass. I literally was gonna bring that up. Got his ass beat. He's like a docile little.
Yeah, man. The ayahuasca now, back to the ancestors, man. Don't be taking all that ayahuasca stuff, because you're opening yourself up to the spirit realm.
The way you move, baby. Way you just, baby.
You open yourself up to. There's another movie called Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and there's a scene in that movie. They have adrenochrome in that movie as well, and they show you in that movie where he starts seeing spirits and stuff, high on them drugs. You know, MK Ultra program, LSD. LSD came out the CIA.
Yeah.
So they use these drugs to manipulate people, man. You could put spells on people through drugs.
Program you, yep.
You could program people, man. And Joe's always talking about that.
Yep.
Man.
He did that for Alex Jones one time, man. Alex thought he was just gonna hit some weed. Alex hit that shit. And he's like, "Oh, what's this?" And then so Joe Rogan just starts laughing. He's like, "It's got this in it. It's got that in it. It's got ketamine in it."
And how are they allowed to do that? That's illegal, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know, but he's allowed to do what the fuck he wants to do, apparently.
Yeah, fucking agent.
You know, I'm gonna read this real quick. Nahum 3:4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of that well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame. Yeah. So things are being exposed. This place is full of demons and idol worship, and the people who are being commissioned to lead the people into the next new thing, they're full of demons.
Yeah, you know, listen, one thing you could tell these people are on demons is they self-mutilate. Self-mutilation is a sure. If you want to know if someone has demonic possession, that's why they got all these tattoos on them. And these people don't realize that tattoo artists are part of a fraternity. A lot of these tattoo artists are witches, because in witchcraft there's something called blood magic and there's something called script magic, which tattoos embody both forms of magic. Because when you do a tattoo, you're actually shedding blood, but you're also writing a script. That's why all these Illuminati puppets got crazy tattoos on them of devils and it's a form of self-mutilation.
Well, that's an ancient custom. That's why it was banned. When you're reading the law, it tells you not to do that.
Yeah, because it's witchcraft, man. And then you see the plastic surgery, the BBLs, the face, all of that is self-mutilation. You know you got demons on you when you're mutilating your face, and people are like, what the hell did he do to his face, or what did she do to his face? Yeah, she got demons on her.
Facts.
And the demons are making you mutilate yourself. And you see that in America. More than anywhere, man, is that plastic surgery is super demonic.
That's right.
You see that Ice Spice bitch, bro?
Ice Spice?
She looks like Nosferatu, bro. Have you seen her recently? She look like she don't have no blood in her body, bro. She looked like Nosferatu, bro. Like, and then she came out and admitted that Ice Spice, they got the name from her actual name, which is Isis.
Just demons.
She's a demon, man. Just going around twerking.
Weirdo, man.
Hey, America is extremely demonic, man. You know, extremely demonic. Drugs and sex and alcohol and tattoos.
Decadent. Real quick, Leviticus 19:28. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord.
Yeah, like when I was growing up, tattoos wasn't something that bikers did. Yeah. Jake never had no tattoos. Man never felt like we needed to go out and get no tattoos. And then they started pushing it on Jake through these damn celebrities. Now everybody and their mother got like 80 tattoos. And that shit costs a lot of money too.
Yep. Verse 31, regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your power.
Yeah, when you go get these tattoos, that's what you're doing, man. You're defiling yourself with you don't know what they're writing on you. You're putting all these damn symbols and all these sigils on you. You don't know that's witchcraft, man.
Right.
You got damn pentagons all over your body and all sorts, man. You're turning your body into a talisman for demonic possession, man. That's why the ghetto's so messed up, man. See these black women, they got tattoos on every part of their damn body. You gotta run away from a demon like that. You see a nigga with, you ever seen them videos, them cartel prisoners?
Yeah.
And they got like skull tattoos and their whole face tattoo.
Top of their head to the bottom of their feet, man.
And them are the dudes that be skinning people, man. Skinning and eating them. They're demons, man.
It's pure demons, man. You best believe a guy like Elon, he's into that crap. Look at him. Ugh.
Yeah, he's been ritualized since he was a child. Most of these people you see in positions of power, the reason they're allowed to be in those positions of power is because they've done rituals on them from since they were children. Like even a lot of your favorite entertainers, a lot of these people were set up from young to be in the position they're in. Like Drake and these guys, they're like Manchurian candidates, man. They've had the rituals from since they were like babies, so they can be controlled. A lot of these people come from family coven, what they call it, witch coven families, secret society families already. But Jake don't want to believe that because but it's true.
All of these people are linked in, man. You see, he hanging out with Obama.
I found out the other day that what's her name? Who was it that was cousins with Samuel Jackson? What's her name? what's his name, sister? Michael Jackson's sister. She said she was cousins with Samuel Jackson. And what's that blind singer name? Fuck.
Stevie Wonder?
Yeah, she said that's her cousin too. Man, a lot of these people are part of families that's been juiced in for a long time, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
For sure. For sure.
They got talent, but that don't mean they're not juiced. You know?
Yep, it's all set up. Let me get through this information.
Can't.
So this is we talk about Elon, how he's set up, you know, clearly set up. And when you look at why he's successful, because Tesla has been a defunct ass car dealership, a car manufacturing company the whole time. They never made money. Never. All right. They just push it out there like it's just so ridiculously successful. And the reason why it's successful is because they just get money from the government. Right? Elon Musk, SpaceX, and Tesla get far more government money than NPR. Musk, too, is a beneficiary of public-private partnerships, which he's the figurehead at driving fascism or this whole MOTB system to bring it home. Okay? Let's see. What should I read in this part, huh? It says, while NPR does receive government funding through grants, it says the money represents less than 1% of the nonprofit's revenue. In 2022, NPR reports $309 million in revenue. It noted an $80,000 grant from the National Endowment for Arts, while its member stations may receive government funding that contributes to their license payments. Critics quickly pointed out that two of Musk's most successful companies, SpaceX and Tesla, are also government funded and indeed receive much more money as a share of revenue and an absolute number. SpaceX, after all, primarily a government contractor, racking up $15.3 billion in awarded contracts since 2003, according to U.S. government records. So this dude is super juiced in, man. Look at this, man. Super juiced in by both sides. Democrat, it didn't matter who was in there.
He just be sitting around on Twitter and playing video games, pretending to be a CEO. Fucking joke, man. Meanwhile, we actually got to go work and be competent at our jobs. These dudes are just flipping characters, man.
Yep. It's all set up. It's all set up. Now check this.
Fourth, at the suggestion of Elon Musk, who has given me his complete and total endorsement. That's nice. Smart guy. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. It's very, very much appreciated. I will create a government efficiency commission tasked with conducting a
government efficiency task,
complete financial and performance audit of the entire federal government and making recommendations for drastic reforms. We need to do it. Can't go on the way we are now.
That's called austerity.
Yep, austerity measures. This is how they're going to put in the ESG and all those type of things.
And Elon, because he's not very busy, has agreed to head that task force.
See that? So now Elon has agreed to head it.
Because he's not busy. I swear he owns like 3 multi-billion-dollar companies.
So Elon's going to head it. By using AI, we've been able to figure out this is what we need to do.
Be interesting. If he has the time, it'll be a good one to do it. But he's agreed to do it.
See that? See how they're bringing all of these things together? It doesn't matter who's going to be in there. You know? All of this stuff is contrived, man. All of this stuff is just made up. It's all made up. Do you have anything out?
No, we can run this. This is a good video, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna just start at the 8-minute mark and let it play, okay?
Can't.
Is there a particular part that you want me to play from?
No, I think you kind of hit it.
Where he talking about gold and silver. I ain't trying to hear all that shit.
Yeah, allow that.
All right.
On me right now, and so all they're looking to do is rebrand it into something else, and eventually go solely digital. And so, what really rubbed me wrong this morning is this article I'm going to share right here. Let me.
Why? Grow your beard, man. What is he doing?
Yeah, he'd look much better, pause, if he had a beard, man.
Yeah, what's he doing, bro?
You know, when you get older, you need a beard, bro. 100%.
It's just that. Come on, bro. Anyway. I just can't. It's hard to even look at this dude, man.
Well, they're holding their own because they're monetary constants. And so the Federal Reserve note is underperforming right now. And so all they're looking to do is rebrand it into something else and eventually go solely digital. And so what really rubbed me wrong this morning is this article I'm going to share right here. Let me get it on the screen here. So I'm going to start off with this article here because I'm thinking like this to me would be somewhat problematic because people are losing funds, and they're losing funds because there's a current presidential candidate that is for and backing something that is causing losses. And so here with just, President Trump and this world financial exchange that's focusing on stable coins is a problem. And so look, said thousands of Trump followers tricked by scammers targeting his new crypto project. And so he himself has not openly come out and just said, this is my baby, this is our project, but his family's doing it. His sons are doing it. So clearly he knows because his sons had to get permission in order to go this route. And so even when Trump visited the Bitcoin conference a couple of weeks ago, he was all hunky-dory talking about stable coins and the need for stable coins. And so the question is,
one of the main things he was talking about also is regulating the cryptocurrency market and having a team of people regulate it. Who you think is going to be a part of that, Elon? What do you think they're going to want to do? Get you into a digital system?
Is if you just zoom out, what's the difference between CBDCs and stable coins? They're one and the same in a sense. They're centrally controlled, easily manipulable, programmable software that has an entry and an exit that's controlled by the banking sector. And so if Trump is wanting a stable coin to reassure the dollar supremacy, as I'm about to show you, who's going to be the overseer of these stable coins? It'll end up being the commercial banks in collaboration with the Treasury or whatever else, but they'll still have eyes and ears on everything you do via the ledger. Not to the extent of a CBDC where they can actually see verbatim your shopping cart items after you check out. But with a stable coin, we've witnessed Tether and USDC, the two head honchos, they've already frozen whitelisted accounts and locked up people's dollar coins from moving if they find suspicious activity. So one and the same, different narratives. But then again, if you call out this narrative, I'm looked at, Trump hater. I got to be neutral. I got to give you both sides, people. So just be conscious of that. So that's my whole point. But real quick, let's dive into this. And I got a couple other articles. Won't spend much time here because at the end of the day, none of this matters in the sense that it's going to really impact people's decisions because when you believe you're only given two choices, you got to pick one.
Boom. That was one of the major points that I wanted. We believe you only got to, you only got two choices. You got to pick one. And people, it's all going the same direction. And we're banging on this. We're banging on this just to make a point.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to say something about this stable coin.
Okay.
Now, like he said, if you create a stable coin, it's still a CBDC. You can have a CBDC that's a stable coin. It's the same thing. It's just a different name. The thing is with the stable coin is it's supposed to be backed 1-to-1 with the fiat currency that they have at the central bank.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't matter because if they then crash or destroy the fiat currency, what do you have left? Well, you say, the stable coin's worthless. Well, no, you still have a infrastructure for a digital coin. So you simply just reissue. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they could bring it out as a stable coin at first, crash the dollar, and then just reissue and what's the word called? Flipping out. Or disconnect the stable coin from the fiat currency, and it won't be a stable coin anymore. It'll be a standalone digital currency. Because the infrastructure's already there.
Mm-hmm.
Which is probably what they're going to do, but we'll see.
We'll see. You know, was there more on this that you wanted to bring out?
No, that was it. He was just bringing out that Trump is basically, he's on the same thing. On the same thing.
Right. They on the same thing, man. So I just wanted to bring that out. That really was all the points that I had for today. Did you have any other closing points that you wanted to bring out?
No. I think we've brought out quite a lot, man. It's just once you're guided by the light, which is Yahweh Shai, it allows you to guide you to see through all of this BS, man. And that's what these people in the world don't have. They don't have the light. So they're gonna fall to the theatricality. You know, you heard what Bain said. Theatricality and deception.
Well, then I'll read this and we'll close out. This is Isaiah 29:15. It says, "Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark. And they say, Who seeth us? And who knoweth us? Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made him, he made me? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he have no understanding?" Everything is in the hands of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Basically, that's why I want to read this scripture. These people that think that they're, manipulating the people and they're fulfilling their clandestine agenda, the Most High put it into their minds and their spirits to do that. So everything is going according to plan. Like we read, we was like, it's an inevitability that these things are going to happen because it's written. And we're just watching it and reporting on it and blowing the trumpet as it manifests. So, stay vigilant. These things are coming. I know we got the Day of Atonement coming up, so that'll be a good day for the congregation. You got any closing statements, Ak?
No, that's it, man. We hit the points that we were discussing. So,
Well, the water for jumping on with me. You know what I'm saying? I know it's late there, so
it's a bit earlier today, man. We're good.
Yeah, let's go chill. All right, with that being said, we're gonna say call hello Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem Rakah Kodash. Once again, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to you, Aki. I'm out there pushing the word of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, sincerity and truth. Shalom.
Shalom.